औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। पनाह मांगता हूँ मैं अल्लाह की शैतान मरदूद से। अल्लाह के नाम से शुरू जो बहुत मेहरबान नहायत रहम वाला है। I welcome you all in the online session of electronic circuit design online course. Hopefully you all are fine and having good health. Up till now in ECD, if you have any kind of question or query, please feel free to ask. I will explain you the previous session before discussing your queries, and if you have no kind of queries till now, then we continue today's session. In last session we have discussed about the assignment 2 question number 5, and this was that question. We have already discussed numerical before this numerical, and the data used in this numerical are derived from previous numerical, that is 10-14. uh, this will be that numerical, and both the numerical are in line with each other and collaboratively equal with each other. In this numerical you can see that we have found three parameters: VGD, VGS, and RSS, ISS, these parameters that we have to find. And categorically, after finding these values, we have to put in this value to find voltage gain and capacitance gate to drain for input Miller capacitance. Then the total capacitance input from this formula, and then the upper critical frequency by this formula 116 megahertz. After this numerical, we are discussing the drain resistance here, and then putting all the values in the Miller output capacitance formula, that CGD into AV plus 1 divided by AV, and multiply by that value to find the value, to get the value output Miller capacitance. Then putting the value of output Miller capacitance here and drain resistance of AC and DC analysis value of RD. Then we got the value output cutoff frequency, that is 46 megahertz. All these frequencies are in megahertz because we are discussing about the high frequency response. And before two lectures we have end the section or topic of lower frequency response, and in starting the previous lecture till to today we are discussing about the higher frequency response. Now move on to the next topic, that is total high frequency response of an amplifier. This is our today's topic, and we have to discuss this thing. The numerical already I have done in previous lecture, so it's a small recall of tomorrow's, the day before's numerical, and continue today's session by today's topic, that is total high frequency response of an amplifier. As you have seen, the two RC circuits created by the internal resistor, transistor, capacitances influence the high frequency response of both BJT and FET amplifiers. As the frequency increase and reaches the high end of its mid-range value, when the frequency would be high and cross its mid-range value. Mid-range is at this level. This is the crossing value of mid-range frequency. Mid-range, at the mid-range we got the moderate level of frequencies, and after mid-range of frequency we got the high content of frequency, and before that we got the lower content of frequency that we called low frequency response. One of the RC circuit will cause the amplifier's gain to begin drop off. The frequency at which this occurs is the dominant upper critical frequency. It is a lower of two upper critical high frequencies and ideal high frequencies. Body plot. This is the body plot on which the frequency response is plot over frequency versus voltage gain. So gain would be in decibel, and how the gain would be converted into decibel. We all know the formula that take the value of voltage gain by the log and multiply with 20. We got the value of voltage gain in decibel, and the power formula in decibel would be to take the decibel of power of gain and then multiply by 10 to got the value power in decibel. Okay. The frequency at which this occurs is the dominant upper critical frequency is the lower of upper critical high frequency. An ideal high frequency body plot is shown in these two figures, that 10-44A. It shows the first breakpoint of upper cutoff or critical input frequency, where the voltage gain begins to roll off at minus 20 dB per decade. You can see here the mid-range gain of frequency we got at this level after upper cutoff frequency of the input and before upper output cutoff frequency at this level. At the upper cutoff frequency output, the gain begins drop at minus 40 dB per decade because each RC circuit is providing a minus 20 dB decibel of decade roll off, and here is roll off. Next one is again minus 20 decibel of roll off that categorically continue in the next stage. Moving towards the next topic of total amplifier frequency response, and before that we have discussed the to topic lower amplifier frequency response, and the next of that topic would be was higher amplifier frequency response, and now we sum up both the topics to get total amplifier frequency response. Now the topic of Floyd book is 10-5. In the previous section you learned how each RC circuit in an amplifier affects the frequency response. In this section, we will bring these concepts together and examine the total response of typical amplifiers and the specification resulting to their performance. So the performance parameter would be found by this formula, and categorically we first find the total high frequency response in BJT amplifier, that is represented this amplifier. We already discussed the Miller effect of C1, C3 as a input output coupling capacitors and C2 bypass capacitor. Shows shows a realized ideal response curve body plot for the BJT amplifier show in figure 10-45A. As you can see in this figure, as previously discussed, the three break points at the lower critical frequencies, these are the lower breakaway points in the body plot, that lower critical frequency 1, 2 and respectively 3, which is mentioned also in lower critical frequency responses. Because it is an early stage of frequency, these are the lower frequencies, and these content of frequencies are found at the higher content of frequency. So we can say these are the lower content of frequency and these are the high content of frequency on body plot. That plot on the axis of frequency versus voltage gain in decibel, and these are the mid-range gain frequency mid-range gain of voltage gain. Now, these are the critical frequencies that FCL1, FCL2, and FCL3 are produced by three low frequency RC circuits formed by the coupling and bypass capacitors. Coupling and bypass capacitors are in three quantities. Coupling are C1 and C3 input output coupling, and C2 is bypass capacitor. We all know about this thing. The breakpoint at the upper critical frequency FCU1 and FCU2 are produced by the two high frequency RC circuits formed by transistors internal capacitance. These are the artificially created capacitive effect that we have to calculate by the Miller formula in input side and output side. And categorically, we are to find the effect of capacitance by the Miller formula in the capacitance way that would be artificially created by the capacitance. So how the bandwidth is dominate here? The How can we find the bandwidth? Bandwidth is the difference of the upper critical frequency and lower critical frequency difference. We got the bandwidth. Uh, this is the basic formula of bandwidth. So I'm not showing some interest at this level because it's a basic formula. So the mid range you can see, or you can say, or the difference of upper critical and lower critical frequency difference is called the bandwidth. And categorically we moving towards the next aspect, gain bandwidth product. And next aspect is frequency response of multi-stage amplifier. And we all know the multi-stage amplifier is that to cascaded form of amplifiers, that one amplifier of gain of output is become the input of another amplifier, and cascaded configuration of many amplifier, we can say it's a multi-stage amplifier. And why we need multi-stage amplifier? The basic need of multi-stage amplifier is to boost up the gain, and overall gain we got by multi-stage amplifier in the drastical way. So that's the reason multi-stage amplifier is like a power amplifier, which can a small category of amplifiers can connect in the cascaded configuration and got the multiple and the drastical kind of gain we can got from multi-stage amplifier in the cascaded way. So many time we already discussed, and the one question from mid also come from the multi-stage amplifier, and all the people know about the multi-stage amplifier. So coming towards the frequency response of multi-stage amplifier, before this topic in 10-5 we have discussed the uh, total frequency response of an amplifier of BJT especially. Now coming towards the frequency response of multi-stage amplifier. To this point, you have seen how the voltage gain of a single stage amplifier changes over frequency. When two or more stages are cascaded like a multi-stage to form a multi-stage amplifier, the overall frequency response is determined by the frequency response of each stage depending on the relationships of the critical frequencies. So, for this purpose, when amplifier stages are cascaded means the series connection of many amplifiers that we called multi-stage cascaded configuration of the amplifier. To form a multi-stage amplifier, the dominant frequency response is determined by the response of the individual stages. There are two cases to consider. Number one, each stage has a different dominant lower critical frequency and a different dominant upper critical frequencies. That means there are the two critical frequencies, critics of their frequencies, as we all know that we have discussed the upper critical frequency concept and the lower critical concept of frequency and the upper critical concept of frequency. Moving towards this part, okay, the second critic is each stage has the same dominant lower critical frequency and the same dominant upper critical frequency. Different critical frequencies for the sake of finding bandwidth. Ideally, when the dominant lower critical frequency, that is FCL dominant, DOM is the short form dominant, of each amplifier stage is different from the each stages. The overall dominant lower critical frequency is CL dominant F dash equals the dominant critical frequency of the stage with the highest uh, uh, lower critical dominant frequency. Ideally, when the dominant upper critical frequencies, that is dominant upper critical frequency, it read in the reverse and but right on the forward direction. of each amplifier stage is different from the other stages. The overall dominant upper critical frequency, that f dash cu dominant, equal to the dominant critical frequency of the stage with the lower upper critical dominant frequency. Okay, read this paragraph. We take a short 1 minute 1 minute break of azan, and after azan we continue the session. So read this paragraph. Okay, after azan break we continue session again. Here we have discussed the upper dominant critical frequency and lower dominant critical frequency. Difference of these two frequency, we got the value of bandwidth, because the difference of bandwidth, because the difference of frequency in the higher and lower, we got by the difference by the formula bandwidth. Now the difference of these two frequency, we got the value of bandwidth. So there is not a contradiction and not the um, uh, different thing, and not the complicated thing is this. So I'm not wasting my time in this numerical. So coming towards the next aspect, that is frequency response of measurement. That is the topic 10-7 of chapter 10. Now, two basic methods are used to measure the frequency response of an amplifier. The methods apply to both BJT and FET amplifiers, although a BJT amplifier used as an example, you will concentrate on the determining two dominant critical frequencies, that is the upper dominant critical frequencies and the lower dominant critical frequencies. For the sake of understanding, please read these contents. Uh, so coming to the topic, that frequency amplitude measurement shows the test step of amplifier circuit board, and schematic for circuit board is also shown in that particular sinusoidal voltage source amplifier. So this chapter have been end with this topic, and we move on to the chapter number 11. So up till now, if you have any query in chapter 10, so you may ask. Otherwise, I continue chapter 11 from now onwards. The topic of chapter 10, 11 is thyristors. Thyristors, anybody know about thyristors? What is the meaning of thyristor? Okay, so coming towards thyristor, today's topic. The basic thyristor is a four-layer device with two terminals, the anode and the cathode. So, thyroid thyristor is four-layer device. It is constructed of four semiconductor layers that form a PNP structure. The device acts as a switch and remains off until the forward voltage reaches a certain value, then it turns on and conduct condition continuous until the current is reduced below the specified value. Although the four-layer diode is seldom means gradually, aksar also the word for seldom, used in new designs. The principles form basic of other thyristors that you will study. So thyristor is the kind of device which we use as a combination of four-layered semiconductor device, that is PN combination. And categorically, I'm requesting with Mr. Babar to share today's attendance in our ECD official WhatsApp group. Now moving towards the Shockley diode. Shockley diode is used in the category of thyristors, four-layer diode, also known as Shockley diode and SUS. This type of thyristor, which is a class of devices constructed of four semiconductor layers. Semiconductors like P and N type are the semiconductor devices. The basic construction of the four-layer diode is schematic symbol is shown in this figure 11-1. The PNPN structure can be represented by an equivalent circuit consisting of a PN transistor and NPN transistor because the these are the four layers out of which three make a transistor, as shown in figure 11-2A. As we can see, 11-10A, this is the one layer of substrate. This is the second layer of substrate in between, and this is the third layer of substrates. Substrate layers are represented here. This one is anode and this one is cathode. This is the schematic symbol of Schottky diode. Now move on to the next aspect, that is the upper PNP layer, PNP. This is a transistor, and the lower NPN. This is another aspect of a transistor, but it's a four-layer device. The upper PNP layers of form Q1 and the lower NPN form a Q2 as a transistor, with the two middle layers shared by both equivalent transistors. Notice that the basic emitter junction of Q1, this one, correspond to PN junction of 1. In figure 11-1, the basic emitter junction of Q2 corresponds to PN junction 3, and the base collector junctions of both Q1 and Q2 correspond to PN junction of 2. Similarly, the same scenario can be fulfilled here. I have to summarize the concept that the thyristor is a four-layer device. It can be work as a transistor of PNP, and it can be work as a transistor NPN. This is the schematic symbol of that transistor, and this one is the circuit diagram as if it acts as a transistor. Biasing technique can be represented at this level. I am requesting with Mr. Babar to share today's attendance in our official WhatsApp group. Mr. Babar, if you are available, so please share today's attendance. Okay, continue the session after the scenario. Forward breakdown voltage and other scenarios, we can see here that four layer characteristics of Shockley diode, that how it works. Simple is that in the principle of this VI characteristic curve, the thyristor is it works. And how it works that gradually the voltage would be increased. Gradually the voltage increase, and when it got the this is the uh, holding current and threshold current. Holding current and threshold current. I have to read these scenarios. Switching current. Okay. If you see this VI characteristic curve of four-layer diode characteristic curve as when we provide supply, until and unless when we cannot provide its uh, threshold voltage, that is the switching current. Up till that it cannot work, and when it got the value of switching current, threshold current, automatically it reached to this position and conduct the current. This amount of minimum amount of current on which the four layer thyristor work or start its conduction, that minimum amount of current is called holding current in the thyristor. this region on which this four layer device works, it's the forward blocking region, in which the breakdown region can, we can also set it's a breakdown region, forward blocking region. In this region, the four layer diode or thyristor cannot work or cannot conduct the current from anode to cathode. Simple as that. And when it got the current, initially I again repeat this scenario, that thyristor start its working, but unfortunately it cannot get its switching current, that is the threshold current, that is is, until and unless it start its gradually increasing current or start little bit of conduction. But until and unless when it got the value of switching current or threshold current, that is is, it again saturate and start working its condition from ih to conduct here. What is ih? Ih is the higher current as compared to the switching current, and the minimum amount of current at which the thyristor or four layer diode start its conduction of work. That's the minimum amount of current that we call IH. And after that current, that region we called as a forward conduction region on which it works. And before that, this is the barrier potential, forward barrier potential, VBR forward. Up till now, if anyone of you have any kind of query, please feel free to discuss. I will elaborate again, repeat for you guys. If you couldn't understand anything up till now, you can feel free to ask. I will explain you and answer your queries. If you have any kind of query in your mind up till now, so you can feel free to ask with me. These are the working which I elaborate to you without reading. So you can read this thing and understand the kind of thing. All these scenarios which can I explain to. It's a uh, common kind of things. That's the reason I'm not studying these kind of things. But categorically, it's not a overconfident statement. It's a confident statement. So you can easily read this thing and understand and got the idea which I elaborate to you. So also this is the holding current. This is the minimum amount of current at which your four layer thyristor or four layer diode can be start its working. That is the holding current. Holding current is it's the current on which holds the conduction. That's the reason it is Vitrum is specified by its name. That is the holding current. After that state, it start its conduction. That's the reason it's called the holding current IH. Moving towards other. Up till now, anyone have any kind of query, please feel free to discuss. Switching current, that is the IS. IS, I think you all know. Where is IS? There is IS. This is IH. IH is greater than to IS, and IS is less than to IH. Moving towards switching current, we have to, I think, study this thing. The value of the anode current. Anode is a positive current. That the point where the device switches from the forward blocking region, to the forward conduction region on, is current is called the switching current, that is the is. The value of the current is always less than the holding current, which I already said to you, that is less than to ih. And these things would be important for exam, why is is less than to ih. Okay, moving towards the next aspect of holding and latching. After holding current and switching current, we moving towards the, these numerical are the little bit of chunks, so I'm ignoring these numericals and not give time to means things. So particularly an application as relaxation oscillator. We have to study the oscillators. So before that, we have to study the concept of oscillator, that how it can produce. Oscillations are the continuous signal that you already studied in communication systems course. Relaxation oscillator, the operation as is as follows, that mentioned in below diagram. When the switch is closed, the capacitor charges through R until its voltage reaches the forward breakover voltage of the four-layer diode, that is the thyristor. At this point, the diode switches into conduction and the capacitor rapidly discharges through the diode, discharging continuous until the current through the diode falls. That means the capacitor completely discharges itself and the diode current is fall down. The holding value. Holding value means the minimum amount of value, and when the four-layer diode or thyristor of four-layer reaches at the level when the holding current is minimum to its limited its reaching value, so it stop its conduction. We all know about this thing. It is a minimum amount of current that which after that scenario, after the state, the thyristor or four layer diode starts working. At this point the diode switches here at this level. Categorically capacitor is connected as the output side and we got the value from this parallel side. So categorically when we provide the supply supply from the voltage source with a series of resistor, parallelly we are connected a four layer diode or thyristor in the parallel wise. Switch when off, so capacitor would be provided supply and the charging would be produced. And when the switch is off, uh, the thyristor, when it reaches minimum holding current, the capacitor would reduce its charging, and continuously this wave would be charging and discharging capacitor. This reflect in the waveform. So we got this barrier potential voltage in the forward way. So categorically and continuously the capacitor is charging and discharging, and we can this statement is reflected by its image or diagram. Now comes to the topic that silicon control rectifier, that is we called SCR, silicon control rectifier. So we start this session, but our today's session have been end due to this session break. Uh, we have 10 minutes to end this today's session. So next session is also would be the ECD. Now, moving towards the topic 11-2. Like four-layer diode, the SCR has two possible states. SCR has two possible states of operation. So my time is over here. So I continue the session with the same link. So I have to stop this session. So students, please again join today's next session with the same link. I end this session because of the ending of 40 minutes. So please join again by the same link. Allah Hafiz.